Good stuff. Thanks very much. Hello, everyone. I'm James Ellis. I'm head of sales for VisiLean. I'm going to give you a few slides of who we are, what we do, who we work with, talk about a bit about the system. Then I'm going to show you some live software and then hand over to my colleague Paramajit, who's going to go through all of our new features and our tech stuff and our new UI. A little bit about the company. VisiLean was originally developed in the UK for academic purposes only, released on a proof of concept that was significant back in 2012, and our CEO decided to commercialize this business. We are a Finnish company with offices in the UK, in India. We've got several partners around the world, and we are now running in over 20 plus countries, and we're still heavily involved in the Lean and BIM communities. So I've just given a few examples of customers, not to be clever with that, it's just to sort of say that we're working in every single sector. We're working in pre-design, design, pre-construction and construction. We started with general contractors as our forte and where we saw the issues. We have now evolved this from working with clients and owners, consultants, general contractors, subcontractors, trades, and whether it's a giga complex project, right down to very small projects that just need a simplified process from an Excel point of view or a short tact planning screen. VisiLean is capable for very complex elements. So our solution, just to give you an insight, we import any schedule from any solution directly into VisiLean in minutes, seconds to be fair. It also has the capability of creating schedules and being a planning tool as well. We can use that to then split the activities and break down milestones, tracking commitments, mapping constraints through the platform, which was mentioned. We also have the ability to create sequences, to create TAC plans in zones to streamline the process and optimize. We've also got screens that look identical to Excel for the people that are still used to that Excel look and feel. And we also have a CPM mode built into the platform for allowing us to auto schedule plans, look at the impact it's going to have, what if scenarios, and see where we're going to be ahead of time with any knock-on effects. Just to give a quick visualization, VisiLean is all about the planning and visualization. So we've tried to cover this for as many different stakeholders, sectors, requirements, and user preferences. We've got the Gantt view for planners. We have the scheduler view, which is a digital last planner solution or a diary system to those that don't follow Lean, allowing us to look at this in the 2-week, 4-week, 8-week, 12-week look ahead, which I'll show you. Table view for Excel. Tact planning, as I mentioned, but we also have integration with ACC or Autodesk Forge built into the platform to allow us to not only do 4D simulation, but also see planned versus actual in real time. I'm going to show you some. The reason I'm showing you the mobile on the screen is you can't physically see what I'm doing at this end or what the mobile looks like, but this is just to give an insight. We have a screen that allows me to see multiple projects at any point and see where we are on the move with PPC, planned percentage complete, and see where we are with delay tasks, stop tasks, how many constraints. An end user would then have the ability to access their activities in the hand and be able to update progress with their finger. Very simplified update with percentage or quantity of unit, and we have an alert button and a stop button to raise issues. All of this is then opened up to like similar to a WhatsApp group where you can attach constraints, videos, voice notes, signatures. We can do checklists, etc., etc. All of this syncing back to the main system. And integrations. We're all talking about Lean and Tact and all of these solutions, but obviously on a project site, there's a lot more platforms that are becoming more apparent, new technologies. VisiLean originally started out as a digital collaborative planning solution, but we've now evolved the platform where we're integrating with all planning software, BIM technologies, document management solutions, reality capture, drone technology, Power BI, ERPs, etc. So we have the capabilities of integrating into multiple different solutions from one single source of data. And a last slide, and then I'm going to show you the system. This is just some snippets. We are all doing the same thing. We're all trying to show our software and try to get the clients' best interests of our platforms. One of the key factors is actually what the return of investment is or what the benefits really are. We have civil engineers lean experts and architects that are all part of our team. So when time we deliver this, all of the platform is implemented with these type of specialists. So it is key to us to make sure that we are getting an improvement. So we get snippets from case studies here that are just to share with you. And we've got detailed case studies that we can show afterwards if need be. So I'm hoping you can still see my screen. On the screen, you can see I've got 5 different projects. And when you log into this, you instantly get an overview of how far through we are complete, how many tasks are alerted, stop tasks, and the percentage of the plan complete based on what we said last week and what we plan to do. When I open the program up, I will instantly be accessing a dashboard, which is showing me real-time information from the program. Whether you use P6, MSP, ASTA, VECO, you will see the percentage of where we should be today versus where we actually are at the top. We can track multiple baselines. We can track tasks that are delayed, which is automated. We can track any tasks that's been stopped and drill down into this information and view it at a very quick glimpse of a button. I mentioned attachments. We can attach and integrate with document management solutions so that we're tying up the same information. On the dashboard, we talked about constraints. We have a full constraint management solution that allows us to log constraints against an activity, and we have to then commit the activity to the worker or the team to allocate who's going to remove, who's going to provide this permit to work, who's going to commit to it, who's going to replace it, so that we can't move forward until we lift that constraint. If you are an ACC customer, you can actually log in with your ACC credentials and it tracks design issue, BIM issues, and brings it straight into the platform. Going back to the main screen, I'm going to jump into the Gantt view. We have a Gantt view on the screen. It is as easy as this: import, schedule, P6, MSP, ASTA, VECO. The platform will come into VisiLean. You will see it on the screen. What we're also able to track throughout this is the baselines and the actuals at any point. So whilst we're going to be looking at the last planner system, the tax screens, and all of these elements all linked to the mobile, we're always capturing the original baseline, start date and end date, planned start date and end date, and the actual, which the worker will be updating via the mobile, tracking critical path as well from the platform. Now, this is quite interactive. As you've seen that I showed you this property panel before. If I've got a problem with this task and I need to raise a constraint, I can do it from the mobile, or I can do it directly from here and create a constraint, and it will assign it to the activity. I can break tasks down. The beauty of this is I can actually, you see these plus signs underneath the these tasks. I can import a sub plan from another planning software or another schedule. So if the P6 is the master schedule and you have a subcontractor or a trade that's using MSP or Excel, we can bring look at their short-term plan directly into VisiLean using multiple different scheduling solutions. On top of this, we can then go into the scheduler view. Now, this is the last planner system. This is a direct replication of what is coming up for the week in swim lanes by the users that you can see down the left-hand side, and the colors relate to the status of the activity. So you can see at a quick glance and with little visual icons if there's any issues. As you can see, this one had a late finish. It should have finished ahead of Friday at this time, and you can still see it's ongoing. So it's automatic, you put it into a late finish. And you can see all the information just by clicking on an activity. Now, if I I can jump to next week. I can do a 2-week, a 4-week, an 8-week. You set all these parameters in the calendar control at the setup. We can even go to a 12-week look ahead. And now you're looking at all the activities down the left-hand side. But we can also do this by trade-based planning. So now the screen has changed to trades down the left-hand side. And I can go one step further and give every trade their own unique color. And now you'll see the colors change on the screen. So now you're looking at swim lanes of each of the trades in their color scheme. And if we want to go one step further from there, we can go to location-based planning, where you can now see all the activities in a location-based style, where we can see here that in week 46, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different trades all working in the same location. Is this possible? Is it a clash? We need to move the activity. So it's very flexible. We can see there's a constraint on this task that can't be stopped. You can see it's red. Why is it red? It's got a constraint that materials have delayed this task. What is going on? I can then look at the history, read the notes, I can then see that it's been issues happened. I can then communicate with the worker, tagging multiple people as I go to say, we're dealing with this problem or you need to resolve it. It's very flexible. Create the activities. You can even do this on digital screens. So that's a quick glimpse at the last planner system. We've then got the ability to integrate with the BIM model, as I said, which is now allowing me to see the Forge viewer built into the platform. If the customer is already using ACC, we complement their platform by logging in with your credentials, and it will bring in all of the BIM docs, everything into the system. One of the key factors of VisiLean is not the fact that it can just bring in the models. We can track design issues and version control as we go. But one of the key factors is we can link the plan to the model, and in seconds, we get a view of where we are today. On the left-hand side of this vertical bar, it tells me that everything except them columns and the two tiles that you see there should all be only in progress, the purple. When I go back the other way, you can instantly see they're red. It means that it's actually stopped. I can click on the activity. It will bring up the trade, the worker, information. I can communicate with the worker from here. On top of here, I can split the screen. And now it's showing me not only the model with the plan at the bottom, I can also split the screen and look at the scheduler, which is now showing me all the work coming up next week. What's happening the week after? What's happening the week after? What's happening the week after? Actually, let's look at a 4-week look ahead. Let's look at a 12-week look ahead. The idea being that you can see the activities appearing. So when you're doing your short-term planning and you're collaborating with trades, the trades can actually see what work is coming up for them. And we can even turn on the trade colors. So now each trade is only going to see their work that is available in the period that we're looking at. And what you can see here is 2 colors that are flashing. Them flashing colors are telling me that I have got a clash of 2 trades that are going to be working in the same location at the same time, which means I can then go down to the bottom, seeing that it's the pink team and the yellow team, and I could then move them tasks quite easily around to then realign them. So it's a very quick glimpse at the 4D side of this. The last bit on here I want to show you is the table view. Now the table view is an Excel look and feel. So all of the same data that you are looking at, you have the same capabilities of seeing it in an Excel format, so that people that are used to Excel can still move backwards and forwards with Excel. And the beauty is we can look at an 8-week look ahead. We could look at a 2-week look ahead, a weekly work plan. We save all the views for you to save in your own configuration. If I want to then dynamically search, it will allow me to see tasks that have been stopped and just highlight these information. Once again, this property panel will appear on the right. Lastly, I'm going to show you the dashboard integration before I hand over to Paramagit. This is where we have our own iframe built into our platform that allows us to create whatever kind of dashboard that you wish. This is all in real-time information. Whether you want to see a daily progress report, you want to see a PPC over 3 months, you want to see an earned value analysis. On top of this, if you're going down the route of future software and want to integrate drone technology, we have the capabilities of pulling this information, overlaying it and integrating multiple different platforms. So the whole idea of this is we have our own experts in-house that can track not only daily huddles, planning of weekly PPC, we can do earned value analysis. We can even see from a client's perspective an overview portfolio of all your ongoing projects in one screen. So this is a quick overview from my side. I'm going to hand over to Paramagit, if you're there, Paramagit, to go through the new stuff and the new features.
I'm here, James. I'm here. Yeah.
Over to you.
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. James, can you just quickly confirm that you can see my screen?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to take over from what James just shared. We have our all new system, which is the brand new UI, as we call it. And this new system was built with the brand new introduction of our task visualizer. So this is where things start to get a little more interesting. So you've got your Gantt that James just walked you through, which is your top-down planning. You've got your scheduler, which is collaborative. But now we've also got a task visualizer, which takes location-based even further. You've got your areas, blocks, zones already defined over here. You can customize these as per your choice. And you will notice that all of the zones are all colored according to their own sort of definition that you've given. These colors will be visualized even in the 2D drawings that you put down. So you can actually create those zones in the drawing as well. I'll show you that. Now, Here you can see all of the work packages, the little activities. These are weekly activities right now. You've got a sort of a naming for all of the trades as well as their colors as well. Now here, what we've gone ahead and done is basically allowed you to create tasks directly from scratch. So you can pick up a design task or a construction task and just drop it in like this. Very similar to what sort of James was showing you earlier in the scheduler, but a little more advanced now because this is new and this is how we're heading. This is the brand new property panel, exactly how sort of James was showing you the original one, but you can start to see a slight difference in the look and feel here. But the interesting part here is while you've got all of those activities, you do have the option of basically having templates predefined. So these are templates or sequences of work activities that you can create and simply drag and drop for a zone and then let all of the activities start to show. You can also have this, that's a complete sequence of activities, as you can see, sort of just shown up in front of you. You can have this for different types of finishing works, apartment works, superstructure, substructure, whatever it might be. And then you can simply drag and drop and replicate these across various zones. Even zone creation is very straightforward. And you have very smart features like selecting all tasks in a zone or simply duplicating a zone with tasks or duplicating a zone without tasks. It becomes really easy to sort of work with zones that way. So this is all of the functionality that we've just introduced, and you have the option of basically reviewing your entire project. You've got very smart predefined filters to actually review your project. So whole project last week, current week. And the best part is that we want to make this as comfortable for you on the front end as possible. So you can define your own presets. So you can have your own choice of like, these are examples. So that's a 2-week look ahead, -1, +1, whatever it might be. And this will refresh according to your choice over here. Now, this is our planning mode, but we've also made it much more simpler to have the updates provided to these tasks and these plans. So now, as you go into what we call the live mode, you're now back to the same VisiLean status colors that James was walking you through right now. So you've got some greens, which are completed. You can also see the trade or the package colors and their coding over here. So you can still tell which package you're referring to. But here you can see the purples are again now talking about work in progress. And the best part is that to further simplify updates, we've introduced something called the Express workflow. Here, for anything that started, I do have a simple drop down here to say that whether it's completed today or completed on time. If I do completed on time, it'll just take the planned end date and accept that. For something else, let's say I've got different examples. Let's say this has started. It will basically showcase that it started, but because it started late, not at the beginning of the week like it was planned, it's going to project at the completion for next week. So that's how it becomes very dynamic and easy to use. Once I'm happy with things, I can even move tasks around. I have the option of basically simply using a move option over here. I can move activities or tasks by a week, by a day, depending on which scale I'm working in. I've got different time scales to actually move around in. So that's how the live updates would start to come through. And now I'm back into my planning mode. I can also make some adjustments over here if I want to move activities around. You also have the option of drag and drop, basically simply like this, and it becomes very easy to work with your plans. Now this, as I mentioned earlier, is supported by all of the previous views that you've seen. I'm going to show you the 2D part as well. So just bear with me 1 second while I get one of the 2D drawings in here. So this is this doesn't host the BIM module just yet. That's going to be an addition that's going to be coming in very soon. But right now we're working with drawings, and you can see how that sort of shows up here. You can also split this window and look at your TAC plan at the bottom, and you can look at all of this sort of the zone breakups that you would like to create right at the top. You can actually start to define shapes. You can start to define zones. You can see this new zone that's just been created comes up here. I'm going to show this as a demo example is what I'm going to call it right now. As I'm doing these updates, you can see that demo example happens right there. I'm also getting a bit of a preview in my drawing over here to basically tell where the zone is and where it belongs. I can also create different sort of options of how I want to define my zones to be. I will have the option to customize these the way I would like, and also color them in a choice of mine. All right, thanks, Rod. Just moving on now from here, I've got another view that I want to show you. Once you've built all your templates and sequences, you can manage them directly in the system. So you also have practically version control for the templates that I was talking about. we've introduced a brand new table view. This is the table view that James was showing you earlier, but this is an advanced new version of that. It allows you to change things very rapidly. This is easier to sort of work with and allows for instant filtering once again. This has functionality which is practically replicated from Excel. You basically have the option to drag and fill data. You can also customize, and you'll have the option for inline editing as well, which makes this view extremely powerful. Now, one last thing before we wrap up is that I have the option of basically now visualizing all of my tasks, my projects, my activities through this maps approach, where I can actually do, for linear projects, visualize key points that I might want to highlight over here and drop pins and mark areas as per my choice. I can also import KML, KMZ files directly from what I've been provided for the project. But I can also switch from that to visualizing, once the tasks are connected to those loans and locations, actually visualizing what is the status of work in that area. I can see 5 tasks which are overall in progress, out of which 1 is completed, but 4 are not ready. And here, all my 5 jobs are done, and I can see what the work is that's been going on. We're now going to have photographs as well to be visualized over here, and constraints. So for your linear projects, you can switch from satellite to even street view, but you're now visualizing photographs, constraints, and tasks in the map view as well. Thanks, Roar, for that time, and thank you everybody for your time.
Thank you. Sorry if it overruns slightly. Apologies. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you, James and Paramjit. It's always difficult to cut off someone who's showing something impressive. So
it's totally fine.
Nice landing at the end. So yeah,
Thank you.
And I bet we could spend much more time. It looks like a nice feature at the end there. Okay, so thank you to James and Paramjit for a good presentation. And you know, in terms of time, it's a relevant issue when you're doing something as comprehensive as you're doing with VisiLean. Like, there's so many aspects to planning and project management here that it's hard to show it all. But I think our audience got a good insight into the main features. So thank you.